Let's put the mic on.
Tommy.
Okay, everybody, greetings. Hopefully everything's working right today. Had a lot of problems last week as well. Let's start off. I'm Tommy Hawksblood. I'm in the main island. I'm on the main island, the big island of Hawaii. Tina's in another country, England, and I'm going to let her say hello. Greetings, Tina. How are you today?
Greetings, Tommy. How are you? I'm Tina Barrett here, broadcasting from Southampton in the UK to Tommy Hawksblood in Hawaii. Weather's been here, it's been good. We've had recent pictures in the last couple of days of them putting more X's in the sky with chemtrails, but apparently the government is going to try and ban weather alternating patterns from aeroplanes, but whether that's true or not, I don't know. But how are things? What's going on in Hawaii?
Well, the weather's pretty crazy here. The volcano is going on and off and on and off. Uh, a lot of the people I talk to are seeing UFOs and weird stuff. Trying to I even offered them the camera to hold on to, but they were afraid to take the camera. But it's been raining every night, super cloudy, so I don't get to film much at nighttime. But when I do, I see so many ships in a short period of time, and nobody's talking about it. Now, over the volcano, over the past 2 months, there was super activity. Balls of light, ship going back and forth and going up and all this other stuff. It comes and goes. It goes on the internet for about 2 hours and then it disappears. So they're completely blocking everything. The observatory doesn't put anything up, what they're doing, what they see or anything. And it's pretty well blocked. If you go there, they only let you see certain things. And nobody here in government, in any kind of form of control, power, will talk about anything important, which is mind-boggling. We have a HARP system here. Uh, Nick Baggage, I don't know if you know who that is. He just was on the History Channel yesterday. His father disappeared, and they searched everybody. He was a congressman and everything. They searched and searched for him. But he was involved with the HARP system. His son, Nick Baggage, he has a site up. He only puts the truth up that he can prove himself. I told him there was a HARP system here. He wouldn't put it up. It was prove it. I said, well, go right online, type Waimea High School. But again, the HARP system is a weapon given to the United States by Tesla, who was given by an alien. So are aliens friendly? No. Tina will agree with that, hopefully. And as far as I know, I'm 72. Starting from I saw my first stuff when I was 6 and 12. But when I started working with women, which was about 18, 19 years old, when I was already doing hypnosis, they were losing their children, having them being abducted, missing time. Most people have missing time. And nobody talks about that today, which is sad because, it's been rearranged from being programmed to the word that we hate, experiences. These people think that they have a great conversation and go on a great trip with aliens. But that's not where we're at. I'm going to go into a few things, but I'm going to let Tina get into a couple of things. She's always got cool stuff to talk about. So I'm going to let her talk for a little bit.
Thank you, Tommy. So, as promised last week, I spoke to Tommy and I have some photographs for you this week. So these are photographs because people say to me, "Oh, what evidence do you have?" And you don't have evidence from nearly half a century ago. So all I've done is keep my medical reports and recent things that have happened. So recently, last year or the year before, I broke my foot. There's a picture of my foot. There's my break. Got Jones's fracture there. Nice little break. But on the other side, so where's my break? On the other side here, where this finger is, this is the break. And this finger here, where I've circled here, I have a blown up image, which is this one there. So as you can see there's a blown up image. But there it is, even more intensified. And as you can see, that is like a tiny ball with a screw on it. And the doctor said, it looks better there, that's inside the bone. And it was either there pre-birth, born with it, but they didn't know how it got inside the bone. And so it's on the top of my left foot there, where that circle is. That's it there. And so that's it blown up. So that's actually inside of my body. There you go. Might have if I've turned it up the right way. But there you go. So we have that. So they get a better angle of it. See? It looks like a tiny screw in there, doesn't it? But it's microscopic. So that's that. And that's in my left foot there. And I have a medical report to go with that. And also, I haven't finished with my dental medical report yet, so that'll probably be another day. Right, this one here, this is a copy of my medical, and I have there's my letter and medical report, and it clearly states that I've been stabbed thousands. I have obliterated pelvis from right to left with thousands of needle marks, and I don't know how that got there. So that's my pelvis. I have the report for that as well. When I had my hysterectomy, what they found, my pelvis is obliterated. And on the same page, I've put both of our reports. Mine and my partner's report are obviously blanked out confidential bits. And it says on there, we have identifying same marks at the same depth inside of our body from the same event on the same night. So there's another piece of evidence. And also, so one of the things that have been going on recently in the last 2 years, I've had severe health. Obviously, I have had x-rays and scans, and I've asked for reports using my head. So this is my left shoulder in 2023. I had to have a chest x-ray taken at the Royal Southampton Hospital. And that is my left shoulder. And as you can see, right at the top there is a tiny little black triangle just tucked inside the bone. There you go, 2023 chest x-ray, and I have that as well. I don't know what it is. It's a piece of black metal inside my top left hand. That bone is clearly, you can see it clearly there on the x-ray. This is another very interesting one. So this is my right ribs from the x-ray, 2 objects taken in 2023. Now, one is green, as you can see at the top there, and one is black. And I said to the there they are clearly seen there, black and green. The green one has like a membrane around it because it's been there so long, and the black one there is what they believe to be a newer object. But they're both spherical, round, and they're both attached to my ribs in some way, or they're nestled right there against my right ribs. There they are at a closer shot. And there they are there, clearly seen on my chest x-ray. So some little marvels going along there. So that is some good evidence. I do have other pictures and evidence and things like that. And just people have asked, I had a message from Paul, because I've mentioned people all the time. He said, do you have proof you've met these people? Well, here's some of the pictures I've had along the way, and I've got many, many more up there. See if you can recognise some of these. There's me and Andrew Collins. I met him quite a few times. Does stuff on ancient aliens and pyramids and things like that. Very, very good chap. Does very, very great lectures. Can't remember this gentleman. I think it's Robert or Brown or something like that. Excuse me if it's wrong, gentleman. There you go with me there. This is Sonia. I can never remember her name. Lovely lady again. Met her a few times. This is a lovely, lovely, lovely lady, Maria Whitley. She does lots of stuff here in the UK. She does the megaliths and things like that. Brilliant. There's me on the Gaia TV stand. Ta-da. There we are there. Some guys from the Awakening. Me and Andrew Collins again. I've met him many times. Great guy. Brilliant guy. Me and Barry Fitzgerald. There you go. This is, there's so many guys. So I'll just got to show you quickly. And then my dog's up again. There you go. You may recognise a few. These two here is Mr. Goldman, and the gentleman in the blue is Richard Doherty from the CIA. That's Kate, can't remember her surname, doctor, very good in their field. Me and Billy Carson, he's great, does loads of stuff about the pyramids, ancient aliens. There I am there again, met him a few times. There's Eric von Daniken signing one of my books, but I do have, if you look at my page, other pictures of me and Eric sat down. That's me and the guys from Cable Green. Do you know this gentleman here? There he is there. He's the guy that Cable Green's about. one of them. He was there. Another one of me and Linda Martin Howe. I've met one of many. Me, Richard Dolan, his wife Tracy Gubby, Lexi, and David Muir there. There's a few more. I will just read quickly. This one here is Richard Fleischer from Germany. He does. He's quite big now in Germany. He does all this in Germany. This is me and another producer. This is me and Dion. There you go. He does the film Cable Graham. You all know this gentleman. Me and Giorgio T. Close. Met him quite a few times. That's just before we went out filming. Me and Miles Johnson. There you go. There's me and Andrew Collins again. Another one of me and Giorgio. And of course, me and Richard Doherty again. And one me and Bob Jacobs. I think this is like 10 or 17 years old. There we are there. And there's just a few more presenters and what have you there. And I have hundreds of more people. Paula Harris in the world of ufology. More and more gentlemen. I can't think I've got there. Grant Cameron. Don Schmidt. Loads of people like that. Kathleen Meridon, who was the niece of the famous abduction couple, Betty and Barney Hill. So I've met loads of people and spoke to. I've got me and obviously Travis Walton and me and Whitley Schreiber as well. So I've got many people I've spoken to in the field and had the good gracious and lucky really to meet, listen to their talks, buy their books, meet them. So it's been, and they're always pleased to see me, always have a chit chat. So there are some great people that are willing to help and listen in the world of ufology and can put you in contact with loads of different people. As regards to history, looking into things. I mean, Grant Cameron's done some great work with the UN. A lot of his work, and Don Smith's done loads of stuff with the White House. Excuse me. So there are some great people out there in the field. Unfortunately, there is some not so great people, but we won't go there today. They're my some of my photographs I have, guys. I do have many more pictures of people and wonderful people I've met along the way. So you should really get to, if you can get to a UFO event, no matter what country you're in, or join a group, opens up a whole new world to you. Like I was saying before, if you'd like to join the world of ufology in any kind of capacity, research, investigation, anything like that, or you want to come forward with your account, there's loads of people, like there wasn't many years ago, but there's many people now, great people that have been in the field many years that can help open up a whole new world to you and are there to listen. So, I came forward, as you know, because I needed help from the world of ufology, and I found it very hard to navigate. Didn't know what was what, never really researched it. I just wanted help for the medical situation I was in, and now I find myself here. I've met many people along the way, and many people are like, yeah, we're in your camp and all this and that. But a lot of people say, I want to believe, or belief is a religious act. Well, there's a difference between believing, wanting to know, or actually knowing. So something Giorgio Tuclo said to me once. He goes, do you believe? I said, no, I don't believe. And he said, no, I don't either. I know. And that's the difference. I know. So, people say, oh, well, I want to believe. It's not about belief. For me, I know. So you obviously look at it from a different perspective. But again, please email us, guys. We're quite happy to show you our photographs, more information, more of our evidence and things like that, and books. Quite happy to promote other people on it and even speak to you guys. So that's where I'm coming from. And again, the world of ufology, apart from all the big things that have been going on in the US, with like more people coming forward about the constellation paper, the papers and people about the Operation Constellation, so with Jeremy Corbell and that, so that that's kind of taken the limelight. But like I said, there's a huge range of documentaries, and while we're on the subject of documentary, guys, if you are a film producer or filmmaker in southern England or anywhere in the world that would like to give me the benefit of the doubt and their experience, I would like to film for free. If you want to film for free, I met James Fox once. We stayed at the same hotel. Brilliant guy. I've met his cameraman and his family, and that's a very nice guy. But anyone out there with experience would like to make a documentary, a 20-minute documentary, I'd just start to write a film deck and ask for funding. So I'd like a quote from anybody out there who's serious about documentaries, would like to film a documentary for 90 minutes and maybe a mini series of 4 to go with that, each 90 minutes long. So if you have that experience, you're in southern England or you're in other parts of the world filming, drop me about and let me know what you can do. You can reach me through Tommy.Hawksblood. Tommy's going to put his email up in a minute. I think it's Tommy.Hawksblood 1 AOL, but he will put his email up in a minute. And again, questions come on the show. We question you. If you'd like to ask me or Tommy questions, you know, we are always here. But yeah, each week we try to touch on something different, and not that it does come round to the same type of topic because that's what we're talking about. We like to get the nitty gritty, but we like to hear other people's views. So you know, it's always a better chance to get feedback and look at things from someone else's perspective or a different understanding or point of view or a different experience, if you like. I don't really like that word, experiencer. You're either an abductee, because if you're an experiencer, have they gained your permission? Like Tommy said, you can come forward and tell the truth without consequences. That wasn't the case so many years ago, but now it is. The border's opening up more. Now they've come out and said that UFOs are real. Well, who's flying them? Origin and intent is down to them. They've had 70 to 100 years to correlate all their information. If they've done nothing with that, then that's down to them. But the public, I think, are taking things into their own hands again. But I've got to blow the same old trumpet, which is, what about us, our everyday people? You guys watching this, we are just normal everyday people. Where's our rights? Where's our taxpayers' money, pounds and dollars, wherever you going? Who is looking out for us? Who is stopping them taking us for abduction purposes? If you are an experiencer and you've been abducted, so they've gained your consent, they've met you beforehand, they've given you an invitation, they've said that they're not going to hurt you, they've drawn up a contract, having you round for tea. From my point of view, I'm not saying it's all negative, bad, but look, this is the way I'm coming from. I was a child when I was taken, so you're talking about a highly intelligent armed force, armed or not, but they're armed with a beam of light, so they can penetrate our world, come into our airspace unannounced, unimpeded, invade your home under the guise of night, and abduct children against their will. Does that sound like a friendly force? Does that sound like a force that's asked your parents or your government? Then they take you away, take your child away, strap you down on a table, and take bits from inside of you without your consent, forcibly against your will. Does that sound like a friendly act? No, it's not. It doesn't feel like it. It's absolutely horrifying. So when people say to me, "Oh, I wish I could be abducted," I'm like, no, you don't. And people do say that, probably need a psychiatric evaluation. Because if you want to be strapped down to a table and tortured against your will and have bits of you ripped out and tested and other biological beings manufactured from your DNA without your consent, then you let me know how you're going to feel about that. It's not a nice thing to happen. So it is scary. It's life-changing. And you think once is enough, it's life-altering. And when it continues, because you don't expect it to go on after one event, let alone your whole life, randomly happening every few years, and you don't know when it's going to happen, you think that's the end of it, you put it out of your mind, and bam, you're back to square one. But my take from all of that is, what about other people that I found it hard to come forward when I needed extra medical advice? It was a serious situation. And there was no one to turn to. Eventually I turned to the world ufology that helped me. That was down to Gary Heseltine and David Hodgson. So thank you very much, guys. They're the top people in their field that know what they're speaking about. But yeah, they can get you answers or point you in the direction of the right people that can help. So after that, what comes next? Well, as you grow older, you pay tax and work. So again, my point of view is, I pay tax. We pay for the British Army here in this country. I don't know, in America, you also pay for special forces or whichever country you come from. And you pay for your local police force. So it seems that there's a failure along the line. Like, the police obviously don't know that, they're going to get a visit from outer space, even though many policemen have seen them. Alan Godfrey, there's another gentleman there. He's got a terrific book out, World Ufology. He's British. Gary Heseltine's policeman. So they're unable to, they can just research and help on the ground, but you've got the Royal Air Force, Royal Navy, the Army, you've got Special Forces. Who's protecting us from UFOs coming down? Who's stopping them from invading our country, our airspace, and then who is stopping them from invading us from our home? If they can't do it, they can't protect you, just say we can't protect you. Then funds should be made more readily available, not these hidden black projects, more available to the guys that's supposed to be looking after the people in their country. And whether you're getting fatalities, people with injuries, serious injuries, lifelong injuries, life-changing injuries and death, then you're in the realms of, that's like a war zone. That is crimes against humanity. Who is being held capable for that? What countries are cooperating in that? What countries are helping us? And how far have they managed to get? Is there an early warning system? Is there anything at all they can do? Is there anything we can do? Let's be a bit proactive about it, guys. It's not a case of blaming, but when you hear like 10, 20, 30, 70, 50, 100 years and you've done nothing, but in the leap of 10 years, you can make cinema games, video games, mobile phones, digitals, iPads, laptops, whatever, but you can't protect the people that are paying for it, or you can't protect the public. There's something seriously wrong. So that does need looking at. But again, if it's a threat to life, then surely that these funds should be all out in the open and made more readily available for our forces, not cutbacks. So protecting people and humanity and helping each other should be the first and foremost for everybody in their country. And again, that's without saying all the people that they've locked up wrongly, all the people that they've put in psychiatric units for psychiatric evaluations just for saying that they've seen UFO, not even saying that they've been abducted. So, the people that have lost their job, people that have lost their families, people that have been wrongfully imprisoned, do they get their lives back? Do they get compensation? What are the pay about people that's been hurt? Well, apparently, if you work in the US government and you've been near a UFO, like some of the guys can get compensation. Who's paid the damage been again through other forces? So any time we record the show, we have a few issues, and it just tends to be sometimes when we talk about sensitive subjects. So So you can come forward now without consequences. This is like in the title of the show, but can you live without consequences? Should be the better question, really, because if you've been abducted, there are consequences. There are lifelong changes. There are fundamental changes in your life that affect your friendship, your life. Do you live in fear? You can't tell nobody. That's mental stress and pressure you live with all of your life. So I think once you find a safe place or you can get it out, once it's out, I think you feel better, but it's still not the same. But the other spin-off to that is abductees. True abductees hold so much other information. All these slight bits of information that come out, they hold so much more information than you could possibly imagine. I think they should read a few abduction reports. And even if you speak to abductees, there's still little things and bits and pieces that will come up that aren't in their reports. So you think, when I was given my report, but then you think of like, they said this to me, or I remember this, or you remember that. Just tiny little things like they like the water here on our planet. There's something in the water they like. They told me that. So there's bits and pieces that straight away, that's something we could be looking at. They don't like our behaviour. Well, we know that. What about, so there's different things that they could look at. And again, like the hybrid program is a massive, massive issue for me. Seeing a child that they've biologically made from you that looks like you, looks identical, like a clone of me, but she's telepathic. She has their eyes. She's fully me, very pink, lots of hair, but she's them on the inside. There's not darkness, there's no emotion I could pick up on, no nothing like that. Very, very dark inside. but me on the outside. So what gives them that right? And they've made thousands, if not millions, of these little tiny, tiny little eggs of me, babies, all females. So where's my rights? You know, they showed me her once, and she showed me a picture in her head, and she told me it's going to be in their catalogue for many years to come. So all the other babies that they've hatched or made from me, that they can see where I come from. In that woman, she took me in her head. It possesses medical information. It possesses for pheromone, hormone levels, your blood pressure, your DNA, every piece of information about you biologically. She just wanted to take an image so that others would know where they came from. So, but on the other end of that, it was a raw deal for me. No consent was given. I asked whether I was going to take her. I never saw her again. It was pure shock. You don't expect that. So I don't know, and it's not exactly if they did it that day. How long have they had legs before they did that? Did they do that when I was younger? Was that one of my previous abductions when they took me? At what point in my life did they take that? How many more have they made before that point? You're not granted access to any of that information, but I've been inside their link. Not many people can say that. I couldn't tell you how long I was in there for, and it's so fast, but it takes you places. And you can look back at any moment in time in their links. There's lots of things that you could be doing and accessing. So there's lots of information, and if you say summoning UFOs or contacting them, but if you're sat in the garden and you, like Tommy said, if you want to meditate in the garden or do something, they look at you trying to contact them as like a screaming child, an unwanted issue, but they will turn up. They will turn up, but yeah. But so it does work a certain way, both ways. So there are lots of things that the intelligence agency gathering, they've obviously picked up on that over many, many years of speaking to many, many people and abductees and accounts. And if they've done follow-ups or if they've done, the footwork, so to speak, But again, are you safe talking to the government? If not, why not? So yeah, I think we're past the boredom of people want it to land on the White House. They know they're real. They've said they're real. That's happened many years ago. I'd just like to say, hold you, John, in our room. There's lots of actually documentaries. I haven't seen many abduction movies lately. There are some on there. But Netflix and Prime has some quite good documentaries lately about abduction or maybe UFO sightings and more intelligence, actually. There's been quite a few about that. So, yeah, like I said, do your research, read people, read accounts, read proper accounts, read follow-ups if you can. I'm going to try and do a follow-up book and about account, years on. So, there's lots of things people can do, and but like I said, if you're a proper investigator, you'd like to be involved at some point. If I can get funding in the future to do a documentary, if you want to get on the bottom step, if you want to become a researcher, investigate, let me know, and we can put something together. But it's got to be in Southern England. I can't afford to travel. Yes, she's my dog. Sadly, my other one passed away. She is 18 human years old. In February. She's a Siberian Husky. She is a very forceful alpha female. She thinks she's 2, but she's 18 years old. She's just been terrorizing, ripping up her bed over there. But yeah, she's an 18-year-old Siberian Husky. Thank you. But yeah. But if you'd just like to come on show and ask us questions, I'm going to hand it back to Tommy in a minute because I've talked the ears off everybody on here. But like I said, I'll get some more pictures out if I can, different bits of evidence. But again, Tommy, he is the lead man in the field. He's been in the field so many years. Start putting your bits of paper together. Start putting your evidence together. But people like I've only been in werewolf ufology. It's happened to me all my life, but I only came forward at it's probably 9-10 years ago now. It's got to be. But Tommy's had years of this, 50, 60, 70 years of this. I've only come forward in the last 10 years, but I've had a lifetime of it. So, ask your questions away. Tommy.
Well, now let's get into it. There's a couple topics I want to just get into today. that I wrote. The first one is, can UFO world people talk about the truth? Well, as what I have seen over the past 10 years, they cannot. All right. And they won't. I mean, even, all the people out there, they say what they think. You're allowed to say what you think. But when you come out and say the government does this, like Stephen Greer has all these whistleblowers coming out. But when you come out 10 years, 20 years after something happened, you're not a good person. If you see something happening on the street, you wait 10 years to call it in. Oh, somebody killed somebody on the street last 10 years ago. When something's going down in the UFO world, it should be out there mainstream so the information could be put together because there's always witnesses and things else going on at the same time. I could walk the streets now and go down to the ocean. I could meet one out of three couples who said they watched these UFOs going in and out of the ocean. They watched this giant ship come over Hawaii. I mean, we've got so much going on here, and nobody talks about it publicly, first off. And the people that do are kind of still afraid to talk about it. I mean, people think they're going to go into the nut house and be put away and things like that. Well, it's much more accepted than that because right now everybody has a camera and there's so many pictures going up. But now, why I mentioned that topic is because in the past 25 years, I lectured with somebody for global sciences. We actually did Stephen Greer's group in New Jersey. But the problem is 16 people I knew are gone. All right. Two of them are in jail. One of them's in a nut house, and one of them just died. He was released from jail because he was dying, but he was suffering for 2 years straight. Couldn't speak. He had cancer from his throat down into his half of his body. But they were torturing him when he was in jail. There's so many things going on, people, and nobody wants to hear it. They attacked him. The government put out 150 false charges against this person. He's one of the most famous speakers in the UFO world. There he was. But when he got arrested, everybody just disowned him. I can go into my story, but I'm not. But anything different than what they want to hear, they disown you. I mean, you say something good about aliens, they'll listen. Say something bad about aliens, they don't want to hear it. But people keep saying, well, why didn't they take you out? I have no clue. But my suggestion is they listen to who I talk to or see who I talk about, and then that's who they go after. John Ford is in Long Island in a nut house right now since 1996. Same year they killed Bill Snyder. All right. So there's a lot of things happening. I went over that last week about 1996, what happened in the UFO world and in the scientific world. But I want to get into a couple other things that I consider really important right now because, these TV shows are going on and on and on about nothing. Now, like Stephen Greer expects the government to come out with disclosure. The government cannot come out and they will not. All right. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't care what anybody else thinks or says or feels. The government has been protecting the planet Earth, for real. They had 3 major wars in space already. Germany was involved with some of the stuff going down. Russia was involved with some of it. Putin actually talked to Trump about it, but nothing was ever brought out publicly. But Putin on Russian TV said it. So, people, if you have ears and eyes, you can see some information that is being blocked. And it's being blocked greatly because of one main group, which nobody knows. I wrote to Musk 10 times already about this, but I write to him every day about MJ12. You don't hear the UFO people talking about it. They're all afraid of him. I knew one of the people in it. He was taken out, and I can tell you why. It's an incredible story, but I'm not going to get into it today. But he was responsible for releasing all the names of the programs the government was doing. But he released a few that he wasn't supposed to release, and they decided to take him out. Another friend worked for the Navy. He had all the documents of the UFO stuff going on, and he was getting ready to release All right, my friend Sean David Martin, he was arrested for 150 false charges. Not one of them was real. All right, he was a sovereign citizen, people, if you know what that is. He was not allowed to have a lawyer, and he was not allowed to speak in court. It was a closed and shut case. They put him in jail. But they were doing all kinds of things to him because he was trying to do letters and stuff to get out.
I don't know if you can see it. My hallway light is flashing like mad.
What is? Well, you're frozen right now. Tina, if you hear this, you're frozen. Oh, there you go. You're moving again.
Sorry,
You were frozen.
I've definitely that because I'm having severe interference here. My lights were flickering like at the front of the house.
They're blocking you now.
My hallway light just had to so they're fully interfering with the broadcast.
They're multiplying your voice. They're blocking you. They're doing all kinds of things right now. Just so you know.
I'm getting a signal in the house that's interfering with the broadcast.
You want to do your book before you go?
Yeah. Just to let you know that I was definitely getting some type of electrical interference because all my lights were flickering like mad at the front of the house. So just quickly before they cut me off, this is my book. It's called The Bonded, The Truth About Alien Abduction. This is about my account. Tia Bird, there I am. That's my RBSN number at the back if you'd like to purchase it. It is £10 on Amazon, less than a packet of cigarettes. You can also purchase it on Kindle and Kindle Unlimited. It's free on Kindle Unlimited, so go and read the pages on Kindle Unlimited if you have it. You can buy it on Kindle also, but it's actual book form. Get the book form. It was made this big purely because I wanted to put pictures in it and my photographs, but even Amazon couldn't do it in the end, so it just came out this big. I will try and get a smaller version done. But guys, it's £10. That's my account. It's the truth about alien abduction. It's the truth about my account, what happened to me, and it's available on Amazon. Buy it now. Do your research. It's a fantastic and true account of what happened to me, my little journey along the way. People have asked me to do follow-ups. I want to try and write a follow-up book, put pictures in and more of my evidence and things like that, which would be absolutely great. I showed you some of my pictures today. I also had, which is what we're going for. Oh, here it is. Here, there it is. There's one of my things. But on the back is my other book. One of my other books I've got is called The Guardians of Light and the Brotherhood of the Night. T.A. Bird, that's me. It's a fantasy book, and that's also available on Amazon, Amazon Kindle, and Amazon Unlimited. So, guys, I've got to try that out. So, guys, get my book. If you ever come across them, sign them. But if you would like me to send you one of these, or you'd like me to sign it for you or put your name on it, just drop Tommy an address and an email, and we'll see what we can do about that for you. But for me, until next week, guys, take it easy. Keep looking up. And I'm sorry about the interference because even my light bulbs were going during the show. So we're definitely receiving some type of electrical transmission for all my electrics to go haywire. But until next week, guys, please be safe. And hopefully I shall still be here. Until next week. Bye, guys.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks for coming on the show. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And you.
All right, Tina Bird, great person. One of the few people that I deal with in the UFO world right now. Because she's real. She's not fake. She's not telling stories, not making herself anything better than what she really is. In the UFO world, these people that come out and say they are an experiencer are trying to get publicity, fame, fortune, whatever word you want. But you don't get it by telling fake stories. Well, not to real people anyway. People that listen to Stephen Greer around in the cloud, they're the same people that follow Trump, people that follow people that say things that they don't mean, don't know, or have a clue about. All right. Now, I want to get into a couple more topics again, like I said. All right. The government will not release the wars that they had. All right. I actually saw one over Hawaii years ago. And then the other thing is when space shuttles fall out of the sky, which happened here in Hawaii. I don't know how many years ago it was, but something supposedly on the news, a space shuttle from 1954 fell down from the sky. I filmed it, my camera, my computer. But during that, uh, what happened was a ship was coming this way, shooting flames out. It doesn't have gasoline or fuel or whatever you want to call it from 1954, and it's still shooting flames out as it's going across the horizon. And then it stops and shoots these balls out, going straight out across the horizon. All right. And then it blows up. All right. They said it was space debris. Again, everything they tell you is a lie about space. They have no clue of what a black hole really is. They have no clue about a Big Bang theory, which is a theory. Some fool decided to make a theory, and a theory is just that: some twisted mind creating something. Zecharia Sitchin created great stories from lies. He took a little bit of so-called truth and created this ridiculous story about the Anunnaki. And I'd say 90% of the UFO world people believe the whole story. They didn't create humans. They did not, people. There were 9 human races brought to this planet in Atlantis. All right. 5 left to a higher dimension because they retained a spiritual level. The 4 that stayed, black, red, yellow, and white, all right, stayed because they had to. But in the interim, the reptilians and everybody else came down and reprogrammed humans to kill animals, eat animals, sacrifice, torture, and all those other words. It wasn't like that before that. But after that happened, the UFO world didn't grow. I mean, it wasn't publicized. It wasn't a big thing all through history. Oh, the Bible had a picture of said this was a UFO and a couple of things here and there. But there's an actual story going on right now, and it's not a story, it's real. It's about a city of aliens that lived in Mexico. Thousands of artifacts were found all over, and they're still digging there. But people I know were blocked. The government came in and took it over. So they had documents of stones that gave alien history and gave a lot of different things. I mean, I saw some of the artifacts are really, really cool. They smoked as well, believe it or not. But again, all these artifacts, a friend of mine bought a lot of them, has a small museum. Another person's going around the world with a small museum as well. But I don't know if he's alive even. I didn't talk to him in a long time. He's very hard to understand. I was going to try to bring him on the show. But they deal with statues of every size. And these all couldn't have been put in the ground by some person trying to make people believe in UFOs and aliens. But it's over. The government has it now, and it's completely locked down. All right, that's just one little thing. Now, Tesla, where my ex-partner in the UFO world used to go up and film and do all UFO filming, watching, and everything else. It was up in New York, right on the borderline in New York State, Pine Bush, New York, and it's the borderline of Jersey. Tesla worked there with DuPont, underground. The most important UFO story happened there, people. And there's few people that can even talk about it or will talk about it or even believe it. But it was a 9-month event. A city was flooded and everything else. So yeah, it's covered up. But you know, when you go into these UFO specials and this is a real ship, this could be a ship, this might be that, then they always got the other ones that kind of prove that it's not what it is, or try to prove that it's fake, or they don't know what it really is. A UFO can take multiple forms. It can change multiple forms. Orbs, which in 1996 or 7, one in between there, my person that I was with went public in New York City in front of a couple hundred people saying we can film orbs wherever we go. not a trick camera. We would use our different cameras, and we started lecturing for global sciences for years. And when we did, we would go out at nighttime and bring a bunch of people out to film UFOs. The next picture I'll put up next week is me dancing with all these orbs around me, hundreds and hundreds of them. All right. And multiple people took that picture. People, it's real, but they take size and shape in different forms. One of the pictures I put up was a ship about this big. I mean, it came right in front of me. I was up in Wanacue, and it came right across the river, and then these balls of light were chasing it, and then it was stepping in the water, screaming, and my friend that I was with was screaming, take pictures, take pictures. But it was invisible, whatever that thing that was walking down the river was. I have more experience than probably most people in the United States and the world. When I was with, I don't say his name because we're fighting, really. And he threatened to, I can't use his pictures publicly. I can't do a lot of things. But he actually became a spiritual person. Now he's a disciple of Jesus and claiming all that kind of stuff. He has important missions. There's no important mission on this planet. Jesus came, he had the most important mission, which to talk about God, and nobody listened. Sadly, a religion was created. Jesus didn't come to create a religion. The Roman Catholic Church is taking over the world. Now that the Pope died, let's see what happens with that. Really, they got 2-mile-long vaults of every kind of documents and proof, and they probably have aliens locked up there, bodies and all kinds of stuff. But that might ever get released, might not. Who knows what's going to happen with that? But we're walking a fine line right now. Trump's doing everything he can to destroy the planet at every level he can. Don't know where he's really coming from, besides delusional. And Mr. Musk is his co-host. Why? Musk is spending and losing and making and losing more money than anybody else on the planet ever in history. I've been trying to get in touch with him for over a year, but more so now because he's got like 12 sites up. The last email I got was this morning saying this is the only real site of his now. But you know, they all say the same thing. You go online now trying to talk to somebody famous, you will not get them. I mean, I was trying to get in touch with Gal Gadot, and I dealt with 7 sites, proved that 5 of them were fake. All right. But I know when a person asks you for money, you better be aware that it's fake. When Musk has to ask you for money, guess what? He was giving people to vote millions of dollars. He doesn't need your $2, $10, even if you give him $1 million, he doesn't need it. All right. I've been trying to deal with him because of what really went down with Tesla. All right. I'm not going to go into that now. It's just too much to get into. But Tesla worked with aliens. That's where he got all his inventions from, people. He had 250 of the most deadliest weapons on the planet. So were they good? Was he good? He even said before he died that they're not going to use them wisely. Free energy is not going to save mankind like Stephen Greer goes, well, free energy will change the world. No, it won't. In Hawaii, during the Earth Day years ago, they were putting these adapters to a car that could make it run on water for $500. It kind of disappeared. I don't know if the person making it was taken out or whatever, but they were doing it for a while. But when I was 12 years old, we had a car that ran on water. People, the government's policy was, who knows what Trump's going to do, to release anything, you have to be able to supply 40% of the United States. Like an electric company trying to start becoming another electric company has to be able to put power there. But here's what they do. I work for Bell Atlantic and AT&T, right? When they split them up, they said, okay, Sprint and all the other companies were coming in. They were allowed to put their cables wherever we put ours. All right. Plus, we had to give each one of those companies like $25 million then to get started. And it was called a franchise. We weren't allowed to have a franchise, but you know, every one of them is the same thing today. It's a game the government plays. It's only about money. The medical field's about money. Everything's about money. Nothing is about people. You think Trump cares about people? He sure doesn't care about Native people. I mean, Native people have their stories with aliens and the star beings and Bigfoot and all that. Sorry to tell you, people, not much beneficial anywhere in history with aliens. Never. Prove it. Anybody out there with any kind of awareness and, well, they told me. They told you what? You're a shithead? Sorry about that. But you're a fool if you believe anything an alien tells you, if they tell you anything. Seriously. When EB, or I'm not going to go into that because he was taken out as well for a reason. Phil Snyder's story is real, people. And all his people, all those people were killed as well. And you don't hear a thing about that. The truth is, MJ12 controls everything in the UFO world. They always had more power than Trump, Truman, Eisenhower. I mean, all these people. Trump, sorry, I shouldn't put his name in there. Who knows what they're doing to his brain? They always had the power over everything. What we see, what we hear, which means nothing. Taking out people. I can't even figure a number of how many people they must have taken out since MJ12 was created. All right. In the UFO world, 1 year they took out 100 people, 96. All right. Sean David Morton was put in jail a couple years ago. He was in for about 2 years. They had to let him go. The other person, I'm not going to say his name, he's in jail for murder. He'll never get out. And lawyers do not take cases like that. Too high, whatever. But this guy, John Ford in Long Island, had about 6 lawyers already. But what the government does, since he's in a nut house, before he can get out, the government has to evaluate him and say he's okay. And they have to evaluate him to say he's okay to even go to court. And every year they say, nope, he's not sane enough to go to court. So I saw his video. A ship crashed on Long Island. Aliens were laying around the ship and everything else. And then they framed him saying he had uranium, a barrel of uranium, and he was going to kill people in government. And that was all over New Jersey and New York news. People were living in a pretty pathetic world right now. Spiritual doesn't exist, people. Every person you pay money to go see, send money to, you should be thinking about saving it for your own self. You might need it real soon. These people lie and tell stories. The richest people, because of Oprah, like Deepak Chopra and Eckhart Tolle, have no clue to death, no clue to a real God. So what are they going to help you with? Tell you stories about being the best you can? You are the best you can. Whether you want to do good things or bad things, that's your choice, but you are the best you can. And as you get older, you start losing the best things you are. Like me, I'm 72. So when you get old, your body starts going down. But that's not who you are, and it's not who you were. When your body dies, you do not. Aliens are not spiritual, never were. Technology which they have and do and deal with, including greatly weapons, has nothing to do with spirituality. They have a couple of psychic abilities. We had 32 in Atlantis, all right? But they're not allowed to be used today, and if they are, people will screw themselves as much as everybody else they use it with, all right? I learned that the hard way. I was high priest when I was 16. I was doing ghost busting at 18. I can go on, but I went into psychic implant removals. You name it, I was doing it. I called it past life regression. I was the first person to create that name. It took me months to come up with that name. Made business cards. I never went far with it because people weren't interested in the idea even. But then when I started working with women abductees, which is the most important thing out there that nobody talks about, is about people that get their children taken from their stomach, all right, right before they're being born. I work with a couple different women, saw the sonograms and whatever the x-rays, whatever they were called then, I don't even remember, but the day before, they lost it. They went to the hospital and everything was okay. The day after they were abducted, they went to the hospital. Hospital said, "Oh, you were never pregnant." How can they? They just knew that she was 2 days ago. But she was allowed to see that child a year later. Told she'll never see him again. 2 years later, she was pregnant, had a child, and they took that one too. All right. Certain people, I don't know how they fit into it, like Tina, is usable. They made a bunch of clones of Tina. See, people that they can use are important to them. She has UFOs over her house every single night. Not just flybys. They stay over the house and move around over the house and all that. I told her they're keeping her alive. She is radioactive. I didn't get her to prove it today, but she is. It's a weird kind of radiation, which I'm sure that the aliens are keeping control over, but she's losing her teeth, losing her nails, losing her hair, passing out. She turns black and blue and she falls down half of her body. So many things that prove she has radiation poisoning. And then the hospitals are doing all kinds of treatment and everything else to her when they put that object out of her stomach and all these things. People, England, they film everything. She can't even see her own video of her own operation. But we're in the United States. We got more freedom here. We could quit it a long time ago. Like I said, 16 of my friends were taken out. And 3 of the people in the UFO were really important people. All right. Now we got Stephen Greer going on and on and on, going in front of Congress with delusional ideas and statements. And he brings these people out. Who cares what they say? If you got an alien, show it. Bring it out. They don't. You got a ship. Bring it out. They don't. I was trying to. I was working with a man named John Ford. I brought him out. He claimed he killed 18 Greys. So I was bringing him out publicly, and he did come out, finally. He had one sample tested of the alien he killed. The same doctor that worked on EV tested the blood and said it's not of this world. I know he killed one. I won't say he killed 18. I don't agree with that. Because when I was going out there, he said, "Oh, the aliens came here and I had to kill one," and blah, blah, blah. And then they knocked the house off the foundation and all these things. When I went out there, it was a different story. But he's dead. He was taken out a couple years ago as well. I got him to write his book. A friend of mine helped him write his book. And then he was taken out. These people in the UFO world that have been abducted or been around aliens are pretty weird. I'm protected. I don't have to deal with them. The only people I have to deal with is Trump and the government. All right? Not aliens, not demons. I was next to Bigfoot. I was doing Ghostbusting at 17. The Juma Mansion, which was the most haunted house in New York City. So many people died, including Aaron Burr died in that house. Madame Jumel, Samuel Jumel, they don't even know how he died, but they always kept that room locked. We found secret passages. We had complete control of that house. We found secret passages. We found documents of who Madame Jumel was, and all these kind of things, people. But I was out there. We were there every weekend doing Ghostbusting and things like that. And Madame Jumel said she's never going to leave. I did everything. I mean, I'm not hanging on to this world anymore. There's nothing to hang on to. Mankind is becoming more corrupt every single day. I don't care if you have perversions and things, drinking, smoking, drugs, and sex, or whatever it is. It's what keeps people coming back because they think that's more important than God, which it's not, obviously. But these people don't understand God. They're programmed with us, a religionist idea of what God is. No religion, except 2 out of 2,000, can even come close to explaining God in any form. God's not a man, so the word he should have never been used. All right. It's not a female either, so it shouldn't be she. What it looks like, how big it is, all those questions, no, very few souls on this planet have a clue. I'm not going to say what I know, but I put a book on the true teachings of Jesus, what he was trying to teach the world. about soul, what we are, not the body. All right. Now, aliens are reincarnating into humans. They aren't compassionate. They don't have feelings and emotions. They got to learn things, how to survive first before, as a person. I mean, aliens do not care. They don't have feelings. What they do to Tino is horrible. What they do to most abductees is horrible. But the thing is, I just had a cloned idiot in the chat room, but that's his choice because he's a delusional drunk, probably Trump supporter, zombie. All right. You know, I have one friend, ex-friend, who's been trying to attack me for a pretty long time. Has his followers attack me. We got along for years, but we always got into these arguments. But his argument with me was over Sean David Martin. He was just jealous. All right. But the problem is, people's ego, who they think they are, what they think they are. All right. Where they going, what they're going to do. It gets confused to reality and why we're here. People don't want to know why we're really here. And there's a reason. Every soul's here for a reason. Not to have 10 children, 10 houses, go on spaceships and nobody can do that. The world's sinking by itself and with humans as well. Musk is helping badly. I mean, the HARP system, chemtrails, geothermal are destroying the planet. All right. If you think that's not really important, you will see within 5 years. 5 more years, people, you got before the world is so different, and not in a good way. When Trump came in, he said, I'm going to be a dictator on day one. And he is. But people wanted that. All right. Why did they want that? Because guess what? They wanted it because their ego. They think something's better than something else. Nothing's better on this planet. I mean, your cheap thrills, your fantasies, your ideas. Oh, you can always get your dream. Dream that you're with God, and you'll have the most incredible dream ever. Dream that you're a real person. What, in the physical world? No, you're not. Your soul is combined in this body, and aliens can use the body greatly, and they freeze people when they take them and things like that. But soul leaves the body when the body's frozen, so they're not really working with the soul, and they can't, which they're trying. They're just like the government trying to clone humans and animals and everything else. Tina's right about that. Well, 24 years ago in New Jersey, Picatinny Arsenal is the oldest army base in the United States. All right, I live near it. They cloned, 4 super soldiers then. About 8 feet tall, red eyes, the whole thing. But where did they send them? What did they do with them? Who knows? But off New York, there was this tiny little island where they used it to clone and create things. I actually saw one body of an entity creature. I had a picture. My father shot it. I was little. But again, my camera was stripped. I had a picture of the flooring in Denver Airport that said U.S. Air Force New World Order in steel, 30 feet wide, in the floor of Denver Airport. Now, the New World Order controls most everything. The base is in the Ozarks. All right, it's right over the entrance to one of the underground cities. All real. Jesse Ventura proved it. All right. and he was taken off the TV because he was just proving too many things that people shouldn't know based on what the government thinks. Well, we're going into a horrible space right now. I don't know what's going to happen to me in the next couple months. What Trump does, what he's planning on doing, what Musk is trying to do as well. I'm trying to talk to Musk. There's a few things I need to tell him, and he should hear and should know. But by the same token, does a person care more about their ego, money, or people? People is not part of it. Money and ego are always number one. The money builds the ego builds the money. Money builds the ego builds the money, and it keeps growing. Look at Musk. He lost more money than any other person on the planet in history. Supposedly he got it back already. All right. I mean, a Tesla car is going down. Now, here's something nobody even knows. China created 2 Tesla cars. One of them's more expensive and one of them's cheaper. Both of them are better. Oh, they're not losing their parts of the car falling off and things like that either. They're not having accidents because they're screwed up. But you don't hear much about that. China won't ship them to the United States. There's so many little things. Now, a person in Africa, Zimbabwe, invented a car that runs on nothing. Seriously. He wants to sell it cheaper than every other car made. He was almost assassinated twice already. His company's there already. We'll see how far it gets and goes before it all disappears. Realize anything that will change the money that the rich people have, the government, the secret government, have to work for the people that pay them. All right? They don't pay the bills, their bills, or anybody else's bills. But the government spends trillions and trillions of dollars, people. I mean, there's more proof out there showing that we never went bankrupt, never were on the verge of bankruptcy, and we still aren't. Trump's idea now, minerals and stuff out of the United States. And you know where that all is? On the reservations. There's enough oil and everything else on all the reservations to supply the United States for 100 years, no matter what. But he wants to do that. Wants to go back to oil. Wants to go back to things. I guess he supports fracking and all those kind of things that are destroying the planet. Now, Mount Shasta blew up recently. Not Mount Shasta, the other one. But it blew, and now it's shaky grounds what could happen. Because if that really goes, it'll split the United States, which they predict. So I dealt with all the top psychics around the United States and the world. All right. Now, one person was doing good up until 1995, walked away, and then Sean David Martin became the top psychic in the United States. He predicted 9/11 in detail 1 year before it happened. I had to fight with him. I said, why weren't you there when it went down? Why weren't you trying to stop people from going in? If you put a prophecy out, you should stand by it. Otherwise, don't put it out there. Oh, you're going to die tomorrow, and then the car's going to plow into your house. Don't stay in your house. But again, if like Noah's Ark, if he didn't build the ark, what would happen? If people don't listen to, like Sodom and Gomorrah, what happened if they don't listen? See what happened to his wife? What did he have to do after? See, we are victims of not listening to spirit, soul, or God. Well, God doesn't really talk to us. There's no reason why God would want to talk to any low-life, small speck of dirt on this planet. Nobody deserves it, first off. Never mind thinks it's really going to happen. You've got to get out of this world to get closer to Him. You're not going to get closer to God in this world because it's not here. And it doesn't stay here. It doesn't come here. Its vibration alone would destroy the planet. It's too high. This world has collapsed into negative energy. After Atlantis was destroyed, all the spiritual beings that were there left, and the people that stayed, I already said that, are the ones that are the victims of what alien races could try to do and are controlling. They didn't come here for gold, people, either. Another twisted story. Oh, they came down to make us mine gold for them. No, every ruler, every king, everybody always had tons of gold. It wasn't like the aliens needed it. They didn't. They can make gold then. They can make it now, and we can make gold now too. So guess what? It was a big lie. Another programmed idea. Religions are completely stripped of the truth. 2,000 of them. And how many could even mention what God looks like? Not one of them. How many could explain what heaven looks like? Not one of them. How many can explain what you do when you go to heaven, or even to the realms? You don't go to heaven anyway, but nobody stays with God's world in His level. I say His, it's its world, but people don't like the word it. Oh, God's not an it. Well, it is. It is an it. It doesn't have your body. Doesn't have female or male body parts or things like that. And sex disappears after the third level. But you're not ready for that. You're still trying to deal with planet Earth, which I'm dealing with. I mean, I'm ready to go. I've been ready for a long time. When it comes, sure, you're going to say goodbye. Even Jesus, when he was on the cross, didn't like the idea of leaving, really. When your body's going through pain and everything. I mean, he went through tons of pain already. But for a split second, you always doubt what you think you don't know or you think you do know. But the truth is, if you can become aware of everything that's going on in your reality, in the inner worlds, you got it made. Because you're not going to die. And you're not going to come back here again. It's when you keep creating karma in this world, hurting people, hurting children, family, people, animals, whatever, going to war, killing other people. Why? Because somebody told you to. If everybody was any kind of spiritual person, they wouldn't be killing somebody else. Prison is another story. I even wrote to Trump and Musk. You want to save money? Don't give them 3 meals a day. Don't give them clean clothes. Don't give them air conditioning. Let them stay in a little box and eat bread and water until they die. They're murderers. They cannot be forgiven for that. And they're going to reincarnate no matter what they do, jump up and down and read 10 Bibles in prison. All right? But why do we spend $150,000 for a prisoner when we won't even give a homeless? Does that make sense? Trump or Musk? You're talking about mass killers and rapists. They get more clean clothes and get sex whenever they want, not the kind they want, but usually it turns into what they want. Get drugs in there as well. Some prisons allow sex and things. All these other things happen. But do you know much about it? Why we spend so much money for it? Somebody's making money on prisoners even, and that's why they have to keep the prisoners filled. Even with people that just smoke pot. It's sad. People, I'm not going to go on any further, but reality's coming. All right. What you're going to be facing is not going to be what you want. Aliens are going to be doing a lot more than they're doing right now. And as if you know or don't know, there's more sightings every single day, everywhere. And even the government, when it was going on in Jersey, they were trying to track these orbs and stuff like that. No, it's not going to happen anytime soon. But people, keep your eyes open. Watch the sky. Watch the sky early in the morning. For an hour, from 4 to 5. Take a camera with you. You'll see cool things happening. And they're not satellites, people. All right. Rev.Hawksblood here, closing out for today. Tune in next week. I'm going to probably try to do a spiritual show in the next couple of days. I'm tired of dealing with the UFO world. That the people are so brain dead. I mean, it's like the people that voted for Trump. They don't care. They don't want the truth. They don't want to know what's happening. And they think everything's going to get better. Things just don't get better. All right. Heard it here. Rev.Hawksblood. Sorry if I offended you. As honest as I could be. Till next time.